Now that you have multiple concrete concepts, specific ideas for a digital marketing initiative that came out of the ideation process, you want to select among them. Which ones are you going to start with? Which ones are the best priority or sort of the most attractive opportunity for you given your objectives, again, as a marketer? And what I recommend here is that you take all the concepts that you generated and you rate them against multiple criteria. And you can decide which criteria are most important for your decisions. But 5 very important and very common ones I find that tend to work well for a lot of organizations are these. First, feasibility. Right? So look at the different ideas you've come up with. You may say, these all look great. Some of them, I've never done anything like this before. I hope it would work, but I'm not sure we could pull it off. There may be some others that we're pretty confident it's new, but I think we'd be able to do this. And then there may be some others, no question, definitely we could create this, we could pull it off. Second criteria would be relevance, and this is relevance to the customer. So this is, again, bringing that customer centricity into your process. Look at these different concepts you generated and say, well, okay, if we pulled these all off, from the customer's point of view, which of these would be, oh, that's kind of nice, which of these would be, wow, that's a real differentiator for me, and which of them would, open them up to, a whole different relationship with you. Third criteria would be differentiation. This may be an interesting idea, but how does it relate to other businesses? Is this something where others are already doing it or something that would be quite different and unique in your category at least? Fourth, sustainable advantage. If you do something different from your competitors and it's a great idea and customers like it, that's great, but is this something that your competitors then could very quickly imitate? Right? If it really succeeds, that's terrific, but somebody else is going to probably start doing it within 6 to 8 weeks. Or is it something that maybe takes more investment to pull it off, more skills, and you think if you really manage to bring it to the market and it has an impact, even though competitors would love to do it too, it's going to be 12 months or 18 months or more before they can actually really come back with something similar in terms of an offering of their own. And the last criteria I often suggest is return on investment. And you may not be able to actually clearly measure or predict what that number would be at this point. So this isn't looking at a quantitative difference between your ideas, but what's the clarity of the return on investment? So looking at your different concepts, you may find that there are some that you say, well, if this works, it'll be nice. We'll really easily be able to measure the ROI. There'll be, because of the nature of the marketing idea, it's something we can very clearly see what the financial impact. Something else, maybe it's a great idea. We think it'll build the brand. Actually measuring a financial ROI is not going to be, it's going to be a little murky. Now, any of these criteria does not veto or decide in itself what you're going to do. But if you look at them all together and you score all your ideas on them, it can help you sort of tease out which of the ideas will probably sort of float naturally to the surface, so to speak, and you'll see this seems like the best opportunity to start with, this strategy or that strategy. And you may actually want to pick a couple to start with. And as you're thinking about what you start with, the last thing that's helpful in the selection process is to think about a balance. It's often useful to have both what I call some quick wins and some big plays. So a quick win might be an idea that you come up with that it's not going to change your whole business. If it succeeds, yes, the competitors could probably imitate it, but it's something that you think you can bring to market fairly quickly, doesn't take a lot of resources, and you think people are going to really notice. It'll create some momentum in the organization, get the attention of the customers. It's great to have some ideas like that. Whereas the big play is a bit different. This is that maybe one idea you're going to focus on this quarter that takes more energy, more resources, but if it really pays off, it's going to have a longer-term strategic impact in terms of your marketing objectives. Very often, good marketing strategies have a mix of both of these. The quick wins get the customer's attention, keep them engaged, and build momentum and excitement within the organization. And the big plays are those things that are tougher but really pay off in the end when you can bring them to market effectively. The last point is, as I've stressed in this stage of the process, it's really important you want to come up with multiple ideas. Don't stop with the first exciting idea you come up with and say, wow, we're really excited. Surely this will be terrific. There's an important principle from innovation that is sometimes talked about by some famous startups, the phrase, fall in love with the problem, not the solution. So if you get too invested with the first idea that comes along in your creative ideation process, and everybody on the team thinks this is going to be the winner, it's very easy to ignore evidence that maybe it's not feasible. Maybe the customer isn't quite looking for it. Maybe you're not quite able to fund it sufficiently to make it work. Whereas if you have multiple ideas, each of them has some value and interest and merit to it, you can take a more objective, more customer-centric, more market-centric view, understand which ones create opportunity for you. And if you start down one path and it turns out that it doesn't really offer the opportunity you expected, you're ready to pivot and shift and say, all right, let's take one of these other ideas we developed. It puts you in a much more nimble, agile situation where you can really respond to what's feasible, what's making an impact for customers, and what's really driving value for your business.